A top 25 foe makes the trip from Chicago to Montgomery today as Aurora welcomes the University of Chicago for a non-conference contest here this evening. And from Spartan Athletic Park here in Montgomery, Illinois, it is today's non-conference women's lacrosse matchup between the Spartans of Aurora University and the 22nd ranked Maroons of the University of Chicago. Happy Wednesday. My name is Sean Fry. Glad that you are with us. Aurora comes in at 4-4, and off of a convincing victory against Carroll on Saturday, it was 16-5. Jalen Yakovitz and Hannah Martindale each buried 4 goals. Monique Gibson added 3, and Aurora was dominant in a victory over the Pioneers. Now they get set to take on a very good Chicago squad that comes in at 7-1. They were in St. Paul, Minnesota over the weekend, defeated Colorado College 11-4, and then host Hamlin 19-0 for their second shutout of the season. They were picked to win the CCIW, receiving 6 of 7 first-place votes. And after a season when they won the CCIW tournament and advanced to the NCAA Elite 8, they are back and looking to go one step further. It's a team that returned 16 players who started at least a game last season, 7 all-conference picks, and 1 All-American who has not been in the lineup, but a very good and very deep team, ranked 22nd in the most recent poll, and they will look to make it 4 straight wins here as they get set to take on Aurora on the road. The Spartans and the Maroons can certainly shoot it. Aurora leads the NAC, nearly 30 shots per game. Chicago is second in the CCIW with 31 per game. They can both score it. Aurora leads the NAC, 11.5 goals per game. CCIW second in their league at better than 14.5 per game. And they can both stop the ball as well. Aurora keeping opponents under 10 per game, which is second best in the NAC. And Chicago, 9th in the country, allowing 5.7 goals per game. That is second in their league as well. So who knows what type of game we're going to see here, but it is a good opportunity for Aurora to face a ranked opponent, find out where they're at here as they reach the midpoint of their season and in their penultimate non-conference matchup here this season. It is the final non-conference tune-up for Chicago before they enter CCIW play, but it will not be their final non-conference game. They'll have another one coming up in a little more than a week, and then they'll close it out with 5 straight CCIW games after that. Either way, it's a good test for both teams. Should be a fun one here. Game number 9 of the season for Aurora as they get set to take on Chicago coming up here at athletics.aurora.edu. And Chicago in non-conference women's lacrosse coming up here in a matter of moments. Other games around the NAC today: Beloit at Lake Forest, Concordia Chicago on the road at Concordia, Wisconsin in the NAC opener for those two, and Marion at Carthage today. And so we do have a few finals. It was a rough one for Marion, who falls to 0-8. They lost to Carthage today 24-2. They were down 10-0 after one, 15-0 at halftime, and 21-0 after 3 quarters. So very much not how I'm sure they drew it up. We do not have a result from CUW and Concordia Chicago here today. And lastly, Beloit and Lake Forest. Don't have a result from that one either. But should we will pass that along to you. Also, Aurora University men's volleyball getting set to get underway here. They are in Chicago to take on Illinois Tech tonight. A win would put Aurora in the postseason in men's volleyball, and still looking to try to find themselves into a home match in the first round of the conference tournament. Earlier today, men's lacrosse in a heartbreaker fell to North Central 15-14. The Cardinals score with 4.9 seconds left to win it. Both teams now 4-4 after the result today. And AU softball with a split today at Franklin. They won the opener 12-2 in 6 innings, dropped game 2 5-3. And so that's a look around what else is going on here in Aurora University sports. So in a moment, we'll have the starting lineups, the national anthem, and we'll get going here between Aurora and 22nd ranked Chicago. This is Aurora University women's lacrosse. Aurora welcoming Chicago here to Spartan Athletic Park to meet the starting lineups. First for the visiting Maroons of the University of Chicago, and in goal making her 8th start is the freshman from Greenwich, Connecticut, Rachel Keefe. Has a 7.07 goals against average and a .562 save percentage. Also has the decision in all 8 games for the Maroons. She is in the top 15 in the country in save percentage and in the top 20 in goals against average. And so in front of her will be on defense a senior from Syracuse, New York, Kathleen Harrigan, a senior from Rancho Santa Margarita, California, Adriana Shuttler, a junior from Wayne, Pennsylvania, Haley Klinger. In the midfield, junior from Bluebell, Pennsylvania, Charlotte Rapp. From McLean, Virginia, the freshman Evelina Swigert. A sophomore from Fairhaven, New Jersey, Lizzie Huseman. A senior from Unionville, Connecticut, Allie Sheehy. From Setauket, New York, the sophomore Lulu Hardy. And from Charleston, South Carolina, a junior, Becky Van Kirk. On attack today, the senior from Clarendon Hills, Illinois, Lally Johnson. And from Great Falls, Virginia, a freshman, Jane Chen. Chicago 7-1 on the season and ranked 22nd in the country. Now the starters for the Spartans of Aurora University. In goal, freshman from Heartland, Wisconsin, Alexis Crowley. She has a 9.07 goals against average that leads the NAC and a 500 save percentage. She's 1-3 on the season. In front of her on defense, a sophomore from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, Taylor Jansen. A senior from Victoria, British Columbia, Taylor Sims. A sophomore from Sherwood, Oregon, Cassidy Fissner. And a senior from Lake in the Hills, Illinois, Nicole Fisher. In the midfield, it's a sophomore from Beaverton, Oregon, Hannah Martindale. The freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada, Brianna Peck. And a junior from Eugene, Oregon, Monique Gibson. On attack, a junior from Frankfort, Illinois, Bailey Simpson. From Forest Park, Illinois, a senior, Margaret Flanagan. And from Costa Mesa, California, a freshman, Kaylee Russell. Aurora is 4-4 on the season. Christina Freed leading the Spartans. It's Kate Robinson at the helm of the Maroons. Officials today, Stephen Polchin, Stephen McGovern, and Jim Ermiter. We thank them for their efforts here in the rain. 57 degrees here as we get ready for the opening draw. And a little bit of dryness during the men's lacrosse game. We have no such luck here for the women's contest as the rain has returned. It's been pouring, and so we'll see if that ends up making a difference. Right now, we pause for the national anthem. So Aurora will start, I believe, moving right to left here. They are in their home white uniforms. And Chicago, they are the Maroons, are wearing maroon, which I suppose is apt. And they'll be moving left to right here. I mentioned it is pouring. It's miserable, and I'm starting to take it a little personally, folks. I've been here 3 times. The weather's been lousy all 3 times. It's either been super cold or raining. And so at some point we have to consider the possibility that it's me. Having said that, we will all battle through it, and it's easy for me to say because I have a roof over my head. Erin Trent here on the camera today, and so we thank her for her efforts, and I'm sure she'd prefer to be on the field, but being warm and dry is not a bad consolation prize. And so we're just about all set to go here. I think a big shout out is due here to the fans that are in attendance who are sticking it out here despite some difficult circumstances here. And you can hear them, and it's important. When the conditions are like this, it's important to be good members of the crowd, and I think they're doing that so far. So big props go out to them. Monique Gibson and Charlotte Rapp in here for the draw. And so we are off And we do not have a resolution to this, and finally it gets kicked out of bounds. So it should be Chicago taking possession. So here we go. Chen behind the goal. Well, the ball goes out up top here where Zoe Turok has it, the junior from Oakland, California, looking to get to the goal. She's denied. Centering feed here. That wasn't handled clean. Good defense there by Nicole Fisher. And Chicago still with it. Looking for some room to operate here. Pass out to the right side here with Turok, the loser defender who went to the turf but couldn't get to the net. 45 seconds to shoot here. And finally, on a clean break to the goal, Evelina Swigert makes it 1-0. So Swigert has her 11th of the season. Lizzie Huseman has the assist, and Chicago scores on its first shot 70 seconds into the contest. So Aurora will look for a bounce back here. Chicago wins this draw, as Rapp able to finish the job herself, and the ball put on the turf. Gobbled up by Brianna Peck. But then Aurora turns it over. Takeaway by Chen. Her pass was over the head of Lally Johnson. Whistle here on Aurora. Have to think that the conditions are already having an impact here. It's been a little sloppy to begin the contest. The pass is not quite as crisp as we're accustomed to seeing. And here's another one that sails. And so Crowley will spin around the net. And Aurora looking to clear here. Martindale goes up. Hauled it in. Gets it ahead here for Yakovitz. Earned conference Offensive Player of the Week honors for her performance over the weekend against Carroll. And gets it out here on the right side. So Aurora into its offense for the first time. Martindale with it here on the left. Up top to Gibson. We'll swing it out to Peck on the right side. Nothing doing there, so it goes behind the goal for Flanagan. Now to Simpson on the left side. Under 30 to shoot. Gibson again, not able to get to the net. Gives it up to Peck. 10 seconds to shoot. No, make that 18, my apologies. Peck looking to get to the post. Cut off there, puts it on the turf, and taken away by Chicago. But they give it right back up on a foul. Well, the Chicago defense able to get a stop. And the Maroons go the other way. Here on the near side, it's Becky Van Kirk. We'll bring it in on the attack, and now she'll swap out here as Chicago gets into its offense and scores. 2-0 on as many shots here. 11:08 to play in the first. And so Lulu Hardy has her 22nd of the year. She was the CCIW Rookie of the Year after a 34-goal campaign and has now scored in 18 consecutive games. So you might say it's a good start for the visitors here. A little bit of a delay while the official pumped up that tire. Needed to get a shoelace tie, and now they'll go in here for the draw. Rapp ends up taking this draw control, and they will give this one to Aurora on a violation. So Gibson out here to Yakovitz on the far side. She'll go back to Gibson and Martindale. Side of the goal here. That's Peck with it. Up top for Gibson. On the perimeter where Yakovitz has it on the right side. She'll try to get to the goal and puts it on the turf. Gathered up here by Swigert, who will hustle it upfield herself. Out to Sheehy, who's trying to get down the field in transition and threw it over the head of Swigert, but it's in the space. Chicago follows it up, and it looks like Zoe Torak got dumped there, so Chicago goes into its offense here. 5 minutes elapsed in the first quarter. It's 2-0 Chicago. It's a feed into the fan, and it's 3-0. Oh, that was perfect. And it'll be Camille Kawana's 7th of the year. 3 shots, 3 goals for Chicago, who have so far been locked in on the Spartan goal. And Aurora already with some work to do here. Well, if Aurora wants some inspiration, look no further than North Central. In the men's game earlier today, they too were down 3-0. Were able to right the ship and win 15-14. Straw will be controlled here by Kawana. And they go to work. Torak gets inside and makes it 4-0. And so Torak has scored in 8 straight. That's her 13th of the year. And Chicago scores twice in 27 seconds. Oh, a lot of things going against Aurora right now. They have not won when they've conceded the first goal. Chicago has not lost when they've scored the first goal. And Aurora has gotten behind this season. They have tended to stay behind. And when they've gotten ahead, they've tended to stay ahead. So they'll need to break that. They lose this draw as Hughesman picks it up. the goal here. The Maroons feed it through the middle. Missed everyone, but it hops out to Kawana. And Chicago tries again. Out top. Torok. Lost it. A nice takeaway there by Yankovitz. And Aurora able to get a takeaway here. Trying to get up the field in transition, and they turn it over. As that one was picked up by Klinger. Now it's Chicago the other way in transition. Shot wide of the net. And a good look there from Johnson. Chicago maintains possession. Pass over the head of Torok. Gathers it back. Swings it behind the goal. Nearing the midpoint of the first quarter. Here's another feed inside the arc. And once again, not able to find anyone on the end of it. Aurora will take possession back. Look to clear their own end. So here's Fisher ahead. For Taylor Jansen will bring it down the left side herself. Christina Freed really impressed with how the sophomore has played over the last handful of games on defense. Is able to start things up and get Aurora into their offense. Flanagan put that pass into the feet of O'Connell, and it'll roll out of bounds. Aurora's fifth turnover here, 7 to play in the first. It's 4-0 Chicago. And here's Kawana taking it onto the logo. Her pass out to the near side for Annika Polkinen. And now out to Johnson on the right. Behind the goal. On the outside here, Torok taking it up as she cradles Kawana. She's on the right side. There's a whistle. And I think technically this will be a free position opportunity, but it's from way outside, so they dump it off onto the doorstep for a wide open Lally Johnson. A terrific set play. Johnson has her fifth. That's her fourth straight game with a goal, and she now has a point in all 43 career games. It's 5-0. Kawana gets the assist. And Aurora certainly capable of mounting a comeback, but it has been a long and unhappy first quarter so far for the hosts. Chicago has scored 5 times on 6 shots and have often find themselves in open space. Here, Becky Van Kirk with the draw control, spills it, stays with it. Still on the floor, and Yankovitz will come get it. Fisher lofts a pass over the head of Jansen. Will be kept in by Simpson on the near side, who then gets taken to the turf. Her pass is tipped and taken away here by Sheehy. So Chicago getting back up the field here in transition. Sheehy will pass it back to Audrey Kaus. Behind the net here. A nice box out down on the far side by I couldn't tell you who, but whoever it was got taken down. Pops back up. And finally, we get to see it's Cassidy Fissner, sophomore from Sherwood, Oregon, with one of the better mascots I've heard of. The Sherwood High School Bowmen. And I'm assuming that that's a reference to Sherwood Forest from the Robin Hood literature. In any case, I find that inspired, and if I'm wrong about that reference, well, it's different, and that counts for something. 4:23 remaining here in the first. It's 5-0 Chicago. There is Peck out on the far side. Now Simpson on the perimeter here for Aurora. Her pass missed Gibson. Monique still there. And now we'll try to get back into the play here on offense. The flip here for a cutting Simpson. It hops to Yakovitz on the doorstep. 3 to shoot here. Missed the goal wide. Yakovitz ends up on the turf. Flag comes out. And Aurora's going to have possession here. Free position opportunity coming up here for Yakovitz. She is 6 for 11. Top 5 in the NAC and free position goals, but will not add to that total here. Rachel Keefe able to handle that one cleanly. It stays 5-0. 3:20 remaining. And here comes Klinger. Gives it up at midfield. Aurora the other way. Martindale with it. Pass here to Peck. Nice move by Flanagan to try to get to the front of the goal. And she'll get a free position opportunity for her trouble. Well, Flanagan does not have a free position opportunity this year. Does have a goal against Chicago in her career, picking one up last season. Rips it, and Keefe makes the save. Aurora maintains possession. Yakovitz out here on the perimeter for a cutting Gibson, who was bumped and will have a free position look from straight on from the goal. Now Gibson, who is sitting at 95 career goals, is 5 for 12 on the season here. Has scored in every game of her career. And it continues here. Puts Aurora on the board with 1:48 to play in the first. Number 24 of the year. Second career goal against the Maroons. It's the only game in her career, by the way, that she was held to just a single goal. 2 or more in every other game she's played. And she's able to get on the board here with $1:48 remaining. And we'll see if that gets Aurora a little bit of forward momentum here. Be a whistle here and Chicago possession. Now up the field comes Torok. She's checked. Able to get it back on one bounce. Now turns the corner on Taylor Sims. We'll swing it behind the goal. 5-1 Maroons. Lily DePalma is trying to feed it toward the far post. Missed her mark, and it rolls to Crowley. You're in the pouring rain. 1 minute to play in the first quarter. And folks, it's not a light rain. I mean, you may not be able to see it under the light standards, but it is significant. Sims has it here on the near side. Nice play to find Marina Canner with it. And now up top to Simpson. Shot clock off. Yankovitz has it. Out at the hash marks of the football field. To the opposite side for Canner, who moves right. Takes a couple of checks. And then missed that pass. Chicago will have it here. 15 seconds to play in the quarter. And looks like they will simply just try to run out the clock here. Don't want to make a egregious mistake in this part of the field. And so time runs out here in the first quarter. And it is 5-1. Chicago leading the Spartans. This is Aurora University women's lacrosse. Well, Aurora with some work to do here through one quarter, down 5-1. In the rain here at Spartan Athletic Park. Team switching ends here. Spartans now going left to right in white, and Chicago in maroon going right to left. Mentioned this off air. Chicago actually a charter member of the Big Ten. And by that I mean the Big Ten Conference at the Division I level, the one with Illinois, Iowa, etc. Of course, they have not been in that league in a long time, but they were there when it started, since moved on and have settled in here at the Division III level. But their home field is named for Chicago's legendary football coach, Amos Alonzo Stagg, who also has a high school named after him. in the Chicago suburbs. Chicago with the opening possession here. And a free position chance coming up here for Chicago. Would have been difficult to be more efficient than they were in the first quarter with 5 goals on 6 shots. And now a look here from a tough angle out on the right. And in fact, Sheehy will simply pull it out and let the offense get into its formation here. Up top here for DePalma. Will loft a pass out that Yakovitz was able to jump. Goes all the way to the sideline. Torok will keep it in. DePalma again with it. Moves to her right. Torok with it. Swung behind the net. Here's Chen. And out for Swigert. Slips inside, lane to the goal and scores. And that's her second. Well, and this is a Chicago lineup that can absolutely come at you. Swigert now has 12 goals. Ali Sheehy is 14. Lulu Hardy has a goal today. She is 22 on the season. Annika Polkinen is 11. Zoe Torok, also a goal today. She is 13. Skylar Leinhart has 9. And those are just the players who are averaging a full goal per game at this point. Lily DePalma has 6. Camille Kawana now has 7. And that even excludes players like Lally Johnson and Audrey Kaus, who are in the double digits in points, along with Jane Chen, either largely by assists or on a combination of the two. So Chicago, certainly with a lot of firepower, they win this draw. Kawana gets right down the field. Goes up top to Huseman. And now out to the right side. 6-1 now, 13:08 to play in the second. Huseman, a little trouble with that pass, but stayed with it. And now resets. Ball up top here where Kawana has it. And her shot goes wide of the goal. Aurora trying to defend here this time down the field, and they'll get a stop as this one rolls in on Crowley. And now Aurora looks to clear their end. Sims ahead now, and down the field it goes. Peck. And now Yakovitz here on the right side. Her pass looking for a cutting Simpson. That was turned away. Like Kaus able to get a piece of that one. And now Chicago going the other way. And it is Adriana Shuttler, who brings it out to the far side. Chicago looking for more here, up 5. Centering pass is on the ground here, but Chicago maintains possession and goes out to Kaus. Another centering feed here, and it's a good one. And Sheehy denied at point-blank range by Crowley, but Chicago stays with it as they get possession back. Kawana was looking inside. Tosses it out here to Huseman. Another centering feed here that was well defended by Sims. Rolls in on Crowley. Aurora looks to clear, but that pass gets under the cross of Fissner for a turnover. And then a pass comes quickly into Allie Sheehy, who scores. And that is her 15th. Had 5 goals at Hamlin over the weekend. Had 5 goals against Aurora last season. Just picked up the 101st goal of her career. So here is the draw coming up here. Gibson will be out of bounds here on Aurora. Under 10 to play in the second, it's 7-1. Gibson stays with it, but is going to be called for the violation here. Yakovitz. Simpson gets a screen and was trying to roll around for a pass at the side of the goal, but it never made it in. Ball is on the turf, and in all that, Chicago will come away with it. So 9 to play now in the second. 7-1 the score. Chicago rumbling down the field. Torok here, left side. Pass here to Swigert. And then an errant pass ends up next to the pipe. Crowley will pick that up. And here come the Spartans the other way. Now here is Fisher taking it down the left side. Nearing the midpoint of the second. Now here's Kaylee Russell. Her pass is defended. And Martindale came away with it. Gibson tries it from range. Save made by Keefe. I've got another 60 seconds to work with here. Aurora maintains possession. Martindale up top for Yakovitz. Yakovitz not able to get a lane to the goal, so she gives it up to Gibson. She'll try it and scores. That one able to find its way through Keefe and in, and Gibson has both Spartan goals here today to make it 7-2 with 6:44 to play before halftime. And Christina Freed had talked about how she just looks to go to the net. Teammates have a lot of confidence that she'll be able to get there and get the job done when she does, and able to deliver here to bring Aurora within 5. They'll take a timeout here with 6:44 remaining in the first half. 7-2, the Chicago lead. This is Aurora University Women's Lacrosse. Seven to 2 here. 6:44 left in the second. Chicago is in front, but Aurora coming off of a goal. Number 2 today from Monique Gibson. The Maroons in the top 25 for a reason. And they were able to jump out to a comfortable lead here over the Spartans. But AU fighting back. Draw control here for Chicago. It's Swigert. It was now just 1 goal off of her career high. Put up 3 at Vassar earlier this month. Now De Palma. Looks this over to the far wing where Swigert did not catch it clean, but stays with it, and Aurora will stay back on defense. Now looks to get to the net. Has to dump it off behind the goal. Centering feed here. And that's going to be Lulu Hardy's second of the game. So make it back-to-back games with a couple. Had 3 the game before that against Colorado College. And 4 the game before that at Vassar. When you look at this schedule for Chicago, and there's only one game that really jumps out at you, and it's for the wrong reason. They visited 9th-ranked Tufts and trailed 11-2 at halftime en route to a 17-3 loss And other than that, they have pretty much defeated everybody comfortably. They got off to an overtime victory against Bates, then shut out Wartburg 21-0. They beat Hope by 13, DePaul by 19. And then a 5-goal win at Vassar, 7-19, the margins of victory over the weekend in St. Paul. Up 8-2 here. Now, an Aurora high-powered team itself, if you're Chicago, the best thing you can do is try to keep them from having possession. And indeed, that was one of the keys for head coach Kate Robinson coming in. They wanted to limit unforced turnovers and maintain possession. And they also thought it would be key in particular to keep an eye on Monique Gibson. She's already scored twice, but right now is the only goal scorer. Gibson taken down here will have a free position opportunity. And she will look to complete the hat trick here. This would be career goal number 98 if she's able to put it home. Closing in on 3 digits in the goal column. And has it. That'll make it 8-3 with 4:49 remaining. And so in case you're wondering where that puts her on the all-time list, she's closing in on being the 4th player in program history to reach the century mark in goals. She's 4th all-time as it is. And right now on pace to catch Claire Carlson for 3rd by year's end. Carlson finished her Spartan career with 120 goals. Long way to go, though, to catch all-time leading goal scorer Kenny Hughes, who put up 213 over 4 years. No small feat. So Jalen Yakovitz creates a turnover. Aurora comes the other way. Sims down the right side. Sims always looking to join the rush, and she is a forward for the women's hockey team, and I wonder if maybe sometimes those offensive instincts are helping her out here in the lacrosse game as well. Turnover here. Chicago the other way in a hurry. In transition, that pass misses everyone. Fissner will pick it up. Fissner trying to come out the left side. That pass was into the turf. And Jansen is fouled. Got 3:18 to play before halftime. Jansen joins the play. Here's Flanagan. And now a touch here for Peck. A nice game against Carroll over the weekend with a couple of goals. And the goal for Russell. .35 on the shot clock, 2:35 on the game clock here in the second quarter. Yakovitz will have a free position look coming up. Not able to score on an earlier opportunity. Steps into this one and missed the net. And Aurora maintains possession. Simpson has it out on the far wing. Feed here to Yakovitz. Steps out of trouble. Peck still with it here on the far side. Now to the top of the arc here for Yakovitz with 16 to shoot. Just a minute 37 left. Very patient this time. Martindale, 5 on the shot clock. Yakovitz just throws it away. Nothing there for Aurora. And now the Maroons will embark on potentially their final possession before halftime. It's Caroline Luff taking it upfield from Northampton, New Hampshire. Behind the goal here, Torok floats a pass here to Hardy, who has her third today. 9-3 here with 51.5 seconds to play before halftime. Now Hardy last season, 34 goals on a school record, .667 shooting percentage. So 34 goals on 51 shots. She came in with 21 goals on 34 shots. She is 3 for 3 today. So Hardy has made a name for herself as being something of a sniper for the Maroons. Chicago will try for one more here as they control this draw. That was Swigert with it. And so it looks like they'll have the final significant possession here of the half. Up 9-3. Here is Torok. Dumps it off right to the mouth of the goal. Sarah Bloomquist turned aside. Chicago still with possession. Here's a quick shot from Lally Johnson that goes wide of the goal. And time's going to expire here. So Aurora will be down 6 going to the break. 9-3, Chicago up here at halftime. I'll bring you the halftime totals coming up. This is Aurora University Women's Lacrosse. 9-3 here at the break. Aurora trailing Chicago. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday. Spartans outshot 14-7 in the first half. 3 goals for Lulu Hardy, a couple for Evelina Swigert. Also goals for Lally Johnson, Ali Sheehy, Zoe Turok, and Camille Kawana for the Maroons. Monique Gibson has all 3 for Aurora today. All of them unassisted. 2 of them were on free position looks. So is Chicago able to corral the draw here to begin quarter number 3? Chicago left to right wearing maroon. Aurora is in white going right to left. Was a very good first quarter for Chicago. The Spartans have largely been able to stay with Chicago since going down 5-0, but unfortunately, you can't erase the first 10 minutes of the game. You could, it would be a 1-goal game, but here we are. So definitely a hole to climb out of here for the Spartans, who will take possession here, forcing a turnover. Well, if Aurora can come out here and have a good first handful of minutes here in this third quarter, would certainly put Chicago back on its heels a little bit. Sims in a little bit of trouble and turns it over. And now Chicago goes the other way here. 2-on-1 to the goal. And a save made by Crowley at close range. Like Sheehy got a great look there, and Crowley shut the door. But only for a moment, as Chicago stays with it. And Swigert has the second 3-goal game of her career. Makes it 10-3. Scored in the first 4 games of her career. Didn't score at Tufts. And has gotten right back to it since. The lead is 7 here in the opening 2 minutes of quarter number 3. So Flanagan in for this draw. Chicago handles it. Swigert will corral it. There's a good steal here by Yakovitz. But to take that pass from Jane Chen. And so Yakovitz comes the other way. Yakovitz looks for Martindale. That pass was off the mark. Chicago comes the other way. Swigert. I'd head here to Chen. Chicago back into its offense here. Kawana looking to feed it inside. Ends up being shoveled back out, but Kawana runs onto it. And now a shot here as Johnson came around a screen and ripped that shot well wide. Chicago is patient offensively. And they make it 11-3. As Lulu Hardy has 4 today. So Lally Johnson will have the assist. Johnson, a part of this senior class that has been in the program since its inception. And when I talked to her, Kate Robinson, with high praise for that group, said they'll have a special place in her heart, and of course they are her first senior class, and had a nice day. Johnson a goal and 2 assists. Ali Sheehy has a goal today. A handful of others who have contributed in other areas today. Lead is 8 for the Maroons here with 11:22 remaining. And Charlotte Rapp in for the draw here for Chicago. One of a couple of players on this Chicago roster from my old neck of the woods in southeastern Pennsylvania. In Montgomery County, if I recall correctly, for Rapp and for one of our starters today for Chicago, Haley Klinger. Chicago back into it on offense. And a turnover here. Errant pass. Now, can the Spartans get going here? Got off to a bit of a bumpy start in the first quarter, and a bumpy start here to the third as well. And Crowley just following it up the field here. Simpson has it at midfield. Now gets rid of it down the field. That was extraordinarily patient. And it's Taylor Jansen jumping into the play. Normally a defenseman. And she's out there, and now will peel off. Aurora needs a goal. Let's state the obvious here. Down by 8 and needing it, and by it I mean the comeback, to start right now. Simpson looking for some room to operate. It's not there, so she goes out to Yakovitz. She's met and fires a shot. It looked like Keefe got a piece of. And so they reset the shot clock, and was blocked, rather. Gibson will be fouled here and get a free position opportunity, but is well out on the perimeter here. Passes it off to the doorstep where Martindale is stuffed by Keefe. Oh, great look. Martindale had a big day against Carroll last week. Career high 4 goals. Looked like she was in line for her first today. Martindale lost it on her way to the net. She was looking for number 4 today. Now Chicago trying to clear. They've only been unsuccessful once today in that category, and it remains that way. As down the field comes Torok here. You know, this is a very difficult non-conference schedule for Aurora. A team that last season proved to be the class of the NAC far and away. Put both games in the conference tournament into the running clock, and certainly came in as the heavy favorite to win the NAC. They got all 16 first-place votes in the preseason poll, and so they wanted to go out and play a challenging non-conference schedule, and sometimes it ends in an inspiring victory, and other times it's a chance to see where you're at. And so they've been able to compete today so far with Chicago, but have been trailing for much of it, and, well, all of it, really. And we have a timeout here. Aurora takes it here with 6:56 to play in the third. So they'll treat the fans here to a classic from the Beatles. It's 11-3, Chicago leading. This is Aurora University women's lacrosse. Well, that timeout lasted one full twist and shout, which is, I'd just like to point out, a classic from the Beatles catalog. Neither here nor there. Aurora out of a timeout down here 11-3 with 6:50 to play. Gibson looking for number 4 and has it, and is on the doorstep of 100 career goals. That is number 99 for Monique. Problem for Aurora is she's the only one who's been able to find the back of the net today. She pulls Aurora within 7 out of the timeout. So it'll be Gibson's 4th unassisted goal today. Spartans will look for more here. Ball control here for Kawana for Chicago, but was tightly followed down the midfield line. Will be a near turnover. It will stay in play here. Chicago back to it on offense. That pass sails through the fan. Be chased down by Swigert. Turnover here, potentially. No. Aurora not able to gain control. And we'll have an officials timeout here. Well, Zoe Turok took a hit up high here. And have to reset the shot clock here as possession never ended for the Maroons. I think that's the right call. So they will fix that. And we're back underway. Turok scores. Your second. Lead is back to 8 with 5:34 to play in the third. AU men's lacrosse was leading at Illinois Tech 2 sets to none. So Aurora was a set away from clinching a playoff berth, and they have done it. 25-23, 25-22, 25-19, the final there. So Aurora will finish up the regular season on Thursday at winless Wisconsin Lutheran. The Warriors have won 1 set all season. It has been a very difficult campaign for Wisconsin Lutheran. Aurora softball today split a couple of games at Franklin, winning the opener 12-6 in 6 innings and dropping game 2 5-3. The heartbreaker of the day went to AU men's lacrosse, lost to North Central here earlier today, 15-14. The Cardinals scoring the game-winning goal with 4.9 seconds remaining. So tomorrow, AU men's volleyball at Wisconsin Lutheran. When I said later this week, I really meant tomorrow. Chicago scores again as Lally Johnson has her second today to make it 13-4. And then on Friday, softball will be home to UW Stevens Point. Men's golf will be at Illinois Wesleyan. And then a very busy weekend as golf continues in Bloomington. Softball is at Alverno, baseball hosts Illinois Tech, and men's lacrosse is at Illinois Wesleyan. The rain might have something to say about baseball, softball, and golf. We'll see about that. Sunday, softball hosts St. Norbert. Baseball is on the road at St. Norbert. And that's your week ahead here in Spartan Athletics. Martindale able to slip a defender and scores. And that's number 12 this year for Hannah. Makes it 13-5 with 4:37 to play in the third. Aurora not giving up. Obviously quite a bit of work to do, but Martindale Able to find the back of the net here, becoming the first player not named Monique Gibson for Aurora to dent the goal column here. Draw control here for Rapp. Ball on the turf here. Chicago comes away with it. As Olivia Scoffery, freshman who scored a hat trick at Hamlin on Saturday, got her first touch here. Free position chance coming up here for Chicago, and it's not going to be Skylar Leinhart here, I believe. Once again, Chicago content to give it up and try to set up offensively, but the pass was tough for Huseman to handle. Ends up being tracked down by Hardy. And Chicago will get into its offense after all. Under 3.5 to play in the third. Torok gets inside, and Crowley makes the save. Fourth stop today for the freshman, whose feed down to the middle of the field did not find the mark. But a good job here by Kaylee Russell to gain possession, and that pass too high. Turnover here. 2:15 to play in the third. Crowley again trying to throw this to midfield, and a steal by Rapp, who goes in on a nearly open goal. And Crowley gets back and makes the save. Crowley did well to manage to stay square to Rapp while getting back into the net. You almost wonder if maybe would have been better off in retrospect letting it fly from 25 yards, but Crowley gets back, makes a big save, then a turnover. So with 90 seconds left, Chicago is back in its offense. Good move to get to the net here, and a free position opportunity is on the way here. It's a nifty move by Leinhart to get to the front of the goal. She'll have a free position look here with 1:11 remaining in the third. An 8-goal lead for Chicago. Actually going to assess a yellow card here to Taylor Sims for a hit to the head. So here's Leinart. 2 for 4 on free position opportunities, missed the net. Chicago keeps. Final minute of the third. Well, and here's a shot that you would suggest that Audrey Kaus missed the release point. That one was quite a bit upstairs. Again, you wonder if the rain having more of an impact than maybe is readily apparent. Not here, though. Well, it's been a big day for Lulu Hardy, who has her 5th here with under 27 seconds to play here in the third. Make it 26 on the season for Hardy. She matches her career high in goals today. Well, you don't get to be Conference Rookie of the Year for nothing. Another draw control here for Chicago. And they'll look to get up here and try to tack on one more here before the end of the quarter. Got 15 seconds to do it. Shot clock is off. That pass was a bit off the mark. Kawana chases it down. Final 9 seconds. Looking to get inside here. Shoots from distance. Crowley makes the save. Time will expire here before this one gets back into play. All Chicago here through 45 minutes. It's 14-5. Maroons leading. This is Aurora University women's lacrosse. Hasn't been Aurora's day. They trail 14-5 here through 3 quarters. Previous 4 losses for Aurora had all been reasonably tight games, losing by 3 at Chapman, by 6 against Capital and against Hope, and tight 1-goal loss to George Fox. This one looking like it's going to be a little more spread out than that against a top 25 team here in Chicago, who, despite the conditions, have looked pretty sharp here in this contest. Another big night from their sophomore star, Lulu Hardy. A lot of big nights up and down the scoreboard, and Monique Gibson has to borrow the hockey term, lit the lamp pretty often here for Aurora, but not enough for Aurora to keep pace here. And it's 2 players with goals. Gibson has 4. Hannah Martindale has 1. Aurora will force the turnover here in the opening minute of the 4th. Long toss down the field that Peck able to haul in. Spartans controlling it on offense here. Aurora will be at St. Mary's on Saturday. That is set to be a 12 o'clock start. Central Time. Spartans will maintain possession here. And then it's into conference play for Aurora after that. They'll be at Illinois Tech on Tuesday next week for hosting Marion and Beloit back-to-back. Another miss here for Aurora. 6 to shoot, though. Won't get a shot off here, so Yakovitz will just shovel it deep here for the Spartans. Chicago opens up conference play Saturday night. Let me take that back. Wednesday night, more accurately. Not even close, folks. April 6th, they'll be at Elmhurst. A brief look at the upcoming schedule. Chicago will have a free position opportunity. It'll be Audrey Kaus getting a look here. Went to Lake Forest High School, not to be confused with the college, although they are in the same municipality. Sends that shot over the net. And another free position look coming up. And so for Kaus, it might be a, if at first you don't succeed, try again situation coming up here. Only this time it'll be Zoe Turok getting a look. And Crowley not able to come up with that one. And so that'll make it 15-5. With 11:58 remaining now and counting, as that will start the running clock here. So for Turok, that is her third, which matches her career high. She has 15 on the year. It's her second free position tally of the season. Chicago ball. Chicago set up here on the perimeter. Palma tries to force a pass inside. Yakovitz turns it aside. Aurora takes possession. 10:20 to play. So barring something bordering on the unprecedented. Chicago will move to 8-1 on the season, and Aurora will drop to 4-5. And the hope, of course, is that Aurora can take care of business in conference play and in the conference tournament, and that experiences like this and some of the other losses that they've suffered here in the non-conference play will make them better come tournament time should they advance. Monique Gibson will have a free position opportunity and a look here at goal number 100. So Gibson lines up. Gets a look into the goal and scores her 5th today and the 100th of her career. And so that ball is going to be taken out of circulation here today. Now, considering that it started in the canceled 2020 season, put up 54 goals last season on her way to an all-region selection, and now 28 on the year here. A wildly impressive start to the year and to her career to reach the century mark in only 28 games. You do the math, folks. That is averaging 3 and change per game. Gibson can absolutely fill it up for Aurora. And I think if you told a lot of people, well, Gibson's going to score 5 tonight, you probably would have said, well, folks, Aurora's going to be very much in this contest, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out that way, but it has not been for the lack of scoring from their star. So it's 15-6, a bit more than 8.5 to play. New goalkeeper for Chicago here is Emily Fagan, the junior from Potomac, Maryland, has swapped in. Chicago crossing midfield here, and here's a turnover. Down the sideline comes Sims here, and she was fouled and thought she was out of bounds, and I'll let her go back and corral the ball. Past the midpoint here of the fourth. Yakovitz here down to Flanagan. Fed a cutting Simpson. And a takeaway here. Chicago in transition. Ahead here for Swigert, who's had a nice game of her own. She dumps it off to the doorstep for Sarah Bloomquist, who scores for the first time today. And that'll make it 16-6. Bloomquist, a senior here for this program. Six and a half minutes remaining here Swigert will get the assist. Gives her a 4-point day. For Bloomquist, that's her third of the season, 23rd of her career. Second goal for her career against Aurora. Draw control here for Chicago. Well, there's a look for Abby Puba. Took it right to the goal, and she scores. And that's another senior on the board here for Chicago. It's her second of the year. Had a really impressive freshman campaign, scoring 24 goals. But has largely been in reserve duty here for Chicago this season. So she makes it 17-6, nearing the 5-minute to play point. Not much else to say here, folks. Chicago scored about 1:10 into the contest, led 5-0, and Aurora never really was able to get back on track after that. And Chicago has opened it up here in the fourth quarter. So the seconds will tick away here, and Aurora will simply try to do some good things here down the stretch. Chicago will try to do the same. Here's a point-blank look from Huseman that sails wide of the goal. 4 to play. Polkinen. Outside for Torok. Chicago, centering pass. Off the mark, Huseman keeps it. It's 30 to shoot for Chicago. There's Kawana. The flip here, as Peyton Sanborn has it here and scores. That'll be her third of the year. 18-6, under 3 to play. Looks like they'll credit the goal here to Annika Polkinen. Their draw control here for Chicago, and nearly turn it over. Final minute 45 here. And the Spartans able to pick up one more tally here with 90 seconds left. So Monique Gibson has 6 today for Aurora. And so the previous Chicago goal was Polkinen from Sanborn, and it was Polkinen's 12th of the year. And now Gibson is 29 on the season as she strikes again. But here in the final minute, Aurora takes possession. Aurora outshot 32-14 for the game here as we're into the final 33 seconds. 14 of 20 on clear. Chicago was 15 of 17. Got another one for Aurora, and it's Jalen Yakovitz who tallies here with 24 seconds left to make it 18-8, and that will likely be all of the action in today's contest here. So Yakovitz has her 15th of the year, first today, and the final margin will be 18-8, Chicago over Aurora here today. So Monique Gibson with 6 goals to match her career high. Hannah Martindale and Jalen Yakovitz also score for Aurora. No assists for the Spartans today. For Chicago, Lulu Hardy matches her career high with 5 goals. Evelina Swigert, 3 goals and an assist today. Zoe Torok had 3 goals. Lally Johnson, 2 goals, 2 assists. A goal and 2 assists for Camille Kuwana. A goal for Annika Polkinen. Abby Puba. Allie Sheehy. Sarah Bloomquist. Assists today for Peyton Sanborn. Lizzie Huseman. And Skylar Leinhart. And Jane Chen added a couple of assists for Chicago. So the Maroons now 8-1 with the win. Aurora falls to 4-5 with the loss. Aurora next in action Saturday afternoon at St. Mary's for a noon Central Time start. Chicago visits Elmhurst a week from today at 7 o'clock as they open up CCIW play. We thank Erin Trent for her help on the camera as always, and the entire Aurora University Game Day crew for their good work today during the entirety of our doubleheader. The final today, 18-8. Chicago defeats Aurora today in non-conference action. My name is Sean Fry. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you next time for Aurora University Women's Lacrosse here at athletics.aurora.edu.